And this is there's some other stats here, but
Holy
I think
fuck,
this
charts.
chart.
At least this is a chart I can understand.
You can understand this chart. Okay, perfect, good. I think this chart is really great because it kind of like just gives you some raw numbers.
Yeah, let's raw dog it. Let's go.
Yeah, the biggest things I think to look at here are the completion rate and the passer rating allowed.
So anyone that's listening, we're looking at a chart about our defensive players, and what I can take from it is their throw, like when they're being challenged by throwing plays, right? That's what this is. When they've when they've been targeted by an opposing team's quarterback. So at the top of the list of this chart, this very simple chart, Trevon Diggs, he's been targeted 38 times with only 18 completions, which is only 47% success rates for quarterbacks going against them. That's probably, like you said, that's probably the most telling stat right there. Right? Yeah. That's what you were kind of arguing for?
That's what I looked at right away because it's kind of easy. I don't know what ADOT when targeted is, but I do know what completion rate is. So, but you look down, and I mean, shit. There's some really bad ones when we start looking at our linebackers.
Keanu O'Neal, every single pass has been completed against him.
It's not good. And same with Micah Parsons. I'm shocked, but 70%, nearly 70%.
You know what though?
Completion.
He's a rookie though, right? Like that's gonna be his. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be his biggest learning curve for the NFL. He's not gonna have to learn how to run and tackle guys or sack the quarterback. It's gonna be deciphering pass plays, right?
But when I see this, the thing that comes to mind is like, okay, there are a lot of holes that quarterbacks are finding, yet we're still finding ways to win. A big part of that is being able to put up 25, 30 points a game.
You know what's even crazier? Look at Leighton Vander Esch, who's been in the league for 4 years. The completion rate against him is 85.7%. That's almost a guaranteed fucking completion. You know, throw it wherever fucking LVE is, and you're gonna get a completion.
And the other big one is like the passer rating allowed. So that's the quarterback passer rating.
Correct.
So you can see Trevon Diggs 29. That's like the most shittiest passer rating ever. If I got that in a game of Madden,
when you get that in Madden,
when I get that in Madden, I instantly trade my QB. But like, yeah, it's I think it's really it's kind of eye opening because
can you find this chart for the whole league? Like, is this chart? Like, I would love to see where other teams' CBs rank against Diggs. To be honest,
you know what?
That could be something in the future. I'd like to see that. Like, I'd like to see where he ranks amongst the Jalen Ramseys or whoever. Another stat I like in it is the air yards allowed. Like, he's been thrown at 38 fucking times, and they've only got 104 yards off 38 targets.
Now,
that's insane.
That those stats include that
big one
play with
75-yard touchdown, and
that technically was not. It was Trevon Diggs's man, but it technically was not Trevon Diggs's. I mean, shit.
So
however you want to roll it,
this will be a good segue into that. So the safety over the top was Damontae Kazee. And he got into a little trouble on his off nights here. News coming out of Dallas, I believe it was yesterday. Kazee was picked up for DWI, I believe they call it in the States. In Canada, they call it DUI, but I think down there they call it DWI, driving while impaired, I'm assuming it's called. So what's this say? Dallas Cowboys safety Damontae Kazee was arrested early Tuesday on suspicion of driving while intoxicated in a Dallas suburb. The Colony Police Sergeant Aaron Woodard said Kazee was booked on a Class B misdemeanor. Kazee was released about midday after posting $2,500 bond, Woodard said. So what do you guys think? What do you think about it? Well, let's read. Let's finish this. Tell what the traffic stop was.
Kazee's Kazee's traffic stop in the suburbs next to Frisco. The location of team headquarters about 30 miles north of Dallas. Kazee failed the sobriety test and admitted to consuming alcohol during the night, according to police.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not a very... I'm sure this happens quite often, and I would like to see what his blood alcohol level was, because that's a telling sign. Like, obviously, he was driving while he was impaired. Does it say he was impaired? Or would he just failed a sobriety test? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has failed a field sobriety test.
So they didn't even
he
get
admitted to consuming. So like, look, he probably came out of it and said maybe they smell it on him. Maybe he had 3 drinks. Maybe he had 4 drinks. I don't know. He probably
Maybe he drank a neutral 7.
Maybe he drank.
Maybe he was hanging out with Bandwagon Boy too, and
Well, I was saying that, you know, he probably was. He probably could have had the biggest hit of the year,
oh my God, he could have absolutely killed that guy.
and he fucking missed it.
And you know what? I'm never one to say take a penalty, but in that situation, they're going deep, and you're up by 5 or 6 or whatever the fuck we were up by. You don't even look at the ball. You just fucking kill the receiver.
Yeah.
You just take that hit, let them get the ball there, and take your next play.
Well, if you look at the play too, I believe the receiver was kind of up in the air too, so you could have did a nice clean body hit on that.
I don't even care. Don't over. You just can't overrun your coverage.
Well, yeah, he overran
overran his coverage.
Overran the coverage, and not to mention that it was like, if you look at the perfect timing for what a hit, like a kill shot,
killed him.
It would have been the biggest.
It honestly would have been the hit of the fucking year, and I don't even know what I would have done. I would have pulsed everywhere because it would have been a kill shot, and even if it was a penalty, it would have been the right play. There is to take the penalty.
I'm talking